Thursday night. You know what that means. Welcome to Thematically Speaking. And this week we have got some great guests. First, my guest is a former ride-op at Alton Towers, now at Drayton Manor, and doing a great job. It is Dan Marks. How are you doing, Dan Marks?
I'm good, thank you. Just to clarify it, obviously, I never did an operator at Towers because obviously it's very weird. So I was actually a ride host, but yeah.
Oh,
hello, by the way. It's all right. I just want to make sure it's clear because someone will be like, well, that's not true. So I've said it.
I'll get that in the comments, yeah.
Yeah, literally, that's the way I look at it.
My other guest today, we'll be talking about when he went to Paulton's Park this Sunday, also with Nick Hudson, is David Blythe. How are you doing, David?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
Did I say your name properly? It was Blythe.
You did, yeah.
Yeah. I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
So if we go to the start, we'll talk to Dan. How did you start working at Towers? Because you didn't live near there.
No, so obviously living down south near the Milton Keynes area, it's kind of
actually,
weird.
I'll interrupt you a second because you'll probably watch this at some point. We've got a friend called Tom DiCello, and he said whenever he sees you in one of our videos back in the day, he'd be like, "I went to college with Dan Marks." And we always joke that it's his claim to fame. They went to college.
Yeah, it's true actually. I always forget that. I remember when I first met him, I'm like, "Hang on, I know you, but why?" And then obviously it clicked. But yeah, it's really weird because obviously my intention was never to work in a theme park industry whatsoever.
Oh, really?
But I kind of got dragged into it by a friend who I met through like doing online Habbo Hotel. I don't know if you ever remember it, but I met a friend on there.
Yeah, it was like isometric kind of, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was by a company called Sulaki, whatever they call themselves. But I don't know if it's still around now. I think it is, but it's kind of massively changed. But yeah, my friend got really into theme parks, and he was a part of the old Towers Times days.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, he's heavily involved in it. He's like, why not come to Alton Towers one day? Like, obviously, you go as a kid, you go to like Fort Park, Chessington, because obviously back then I lived down south. So Chessington, Thorpe, I went to all the time as a kid, but then started obviously joining the Towers Times events myself and just casually chatting to people. First people I met, Ellie Bird, people like that, they still work there now. So I just kind of gradually went at it. I had enough of working the job I did, and I just applied on a whim, basically, really. And then, unfortunately, like 10 years later, I'm still in the industry. It's really weird. I wouldn't think myself out of it now, kind of thing, because you're so settled into it.
Well, you kind of know what you're doing in a way, like procedures.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, you go back every season, there is a turn. I'm going into my 6th season now at Drayton. You probably don't even need. Yeah, it's gone really quick. So 2017, I joined, didn't I? After obviously not being invited back to Alton Towers, obviously after working an extended contract with them as well. But hey ho, it is what it is. You know what they're like. But it is. It doesn't stop me visiting Alton Towers. Granted, I haven't really been much since I left. Like I've kind of like on board with it now.
Did you start in rides or did you start?
No, I did start on rides. I started on initially on Subterra, didn't I? So I did.
That was your first ride, was it?
I was one of the opening lots. So yeah, one of the original Phalanx operatives. So yeah, I think on Twitter,
it felt like you've been there. But I thought you'd been there a year or two before that.
No. So I got started as a Phalanx operative. I think I'm on the original Towers Twitter for Phalanx operatives of me walking around the park in my Phalanx uniform. So yeah.
What was that?
And then I moved on to Ripsaw, so it's kind of weird.
Oh, I miss Ripsaw.
Oh my god, I was telling somebody the other day at work. I absolutely love Ripsaw. Like I was on there at least 5-6 days a week. I always used to train hosts on there. I used to love it. Anyone didn't want to be on there, I'm on there, please. I used to really enjoy it. It was like my baby. I just loved it.
What was it like going on Subterra? Because I don't know, when you get a new job, it's sort of like you're a bit nervous, but your job was to be aggressive.
Yeah, so obviously, for those who don't remember, obviously when it first opened, you could be like, shut up, turn around, not interested in what you got to say. And obviously, that kind of got toned down as it went on. But at the start, yeah, you could have people turn around the thing, hands on the side, making people sit on the floor, screaming at people. It was good fun. And this was the actors coming in, obviously people like Dimitri and people like that, because obviously that's how I met him as well, through him obviously becoming one of the actors inside, because obviously
that was his first job as well.
Yeah, so that's really weird.
There. Yeah.
So it's really weird. And obviously I did opening day. I think I'm on the news for a couple of them as well, which is kind of like cringy as hell. But yeah, it was good fun because obviously you could have a laugh and joke, but you could also terrorize, especially the enthusiasts. Oh, you just had too much fun terrorizing them because they knew you could kind of push the boundaries a little bit. Obviously, anything that's good, like sackable or anything like that. It was always very you could kind of get away with a lot more. Even with guests, you used to go like, we used to have a Geordie phalanx operative, Stone. I can't remember what his first name was. Weatherstone, yeah. So we used to move all the guests outside to one side. So when he came out to scare people, he wasn't there. Or when they're inside and he came back outside, we'd hide everyone quickly and things like that. So we used to terrorize each other. But I kind of miss it.
Which
but I kind of don't.
Everyone.
We kind of push everyone to one side and, you know, do little...
Oh, so when he looks in, there's no one there?
Yeah. And you could used to have little jokes in the briefing things, you know, obviously about the egg and things like, you're not here for a fun day out. You could have gone to Fort Park or something, you know, the stupid little things like that. So you could have a little bit of a laugh and a joke, really. But at the same time, you could just scream and shout at people. But you'd voice at the end of the day, oh my God, it would hurt. You'd probably lose it a lot of times as well.
So you weren't technically a ride-up on Ripsaw either?
No, so obviously, Alton Towers obviously have a very different process to like how other theme parks have. Obviously, to be an operator, you obviously have to apply for it. You have to go for an interview. You have to have a medical about it at tower. So like, you have to have hearing, eyesight, blah, 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 whatever else. I can't remember, blood pressure and things like that. Obviously, everyone had to have hearing tests because I definitely had a hearing test when I worked on Nemesis. Obviously, Nemesis was very above 65 decibels. See, if you remember that, I don't even know why, but I do. So yeah, to be fair, it never interested me progressing though when I first started in theme parks at all. I never wanted to progress at all. Never wanted to operate. But at Alton Towers, I felt like most of the management would treat me like an operator in a sense of like I'd get away with things.
I don't know how to go into that.
I've known Dan Marks for a while. Jesus, hope you're doing well. Wow.
I think that's well, I know him as Dark Adder, but it's Sheldrake. I'm sure it is.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't remember people anymore. But is that bad? Is that old age, or is that not old age? Or is that just because I'm just naive?
No, I think it's the case. There's a lot of people, especially in the line of work you have.
I think the good thing is as well, because at Drayton Manor, it's like you don't really see enthusiasts. Like you don't see your annoying murdered annual pass holders constantly all the times. I'm
one of those murdered annual pass holders.
I'm a murdered annual pass, but the ones who are a pain in the arse, I don't know if I'm swear, but I don't care. It's too late now. Yeah, they're the annoying ones. Like some are really lovely, but some are just like, just go away, just get a grip of your life. I know what the rules are. Don't try and play me. Like, because they would, especially murdered annual pass holders, would try and push the newbies into getting away with things. Like, no. And I used to get annoyed when
we're talking about.
Yeah, like they'll come up the exit and go, oh, can you slide us on there? And try and stuff. And like, oh, just let them on. You're like, no, they're not going on. They need to walk around. They're not above the rules. So, yeah.
So did you have to wear ear...
it was the best thing ever, earplugs. You could just like,
oh,
sorry. Yeah, the orange ones. I think they were like orange back then. So, yeah, it was good. It was nice. You could set your earplugs in all day, just like enjoying life. But then back then as well, obviously working on roller coasters back then, it was very old school operating. If you were really slow on the station, you'd be off that station and be like straight on the entrance or merge point kind of thing. Whereas now today, I feel like it's just like slow. But back then we could literally just like, we could get a train out every 30 seconds well easy and still provide that customer service. But now it's all, oh, are you okay? Do you want to push that seatbelt in for you a little bit more?
Have you got any memories you're allowed to talk about? I'm trying to kind of delve without delving, like about things that
to be fair, one of the biggest one was for me. I remember one fireworks night or Scarefest night. We had a code red on Nemesis. Basically, this group, I can't remember what ethnicity they were, but they were queue jumping in the queue. And it just transpired. It just got spiraled out of control for us. The ride being down for like an hour and a half. Them all fighting in the station. Police having to come on. And obviously threatening guests, threatening staff members. Yeah, it's just crazy some of the stuff you do. Like, I've lost count how many evacs I did on Nemesis, but nothing really exciting. You had the celebrities like anyone else, but no, not really.
What about... Did you still work there when they had the red water? And
yeah. I remember having to put that dye in there a couple of times. Yeah, and getting cut.
I got it on video one time. That's how
like don't cover yourself. Yeah, you used to put it in down by the waterfalls off the drop and things like that. And you're like, you got it all over your hands. That was it. Oh yeah, the re-ride policy. That was hilarious. Charles's bloody re-ride policy. Oh god. We
It
used
seems
to
like they've
be.
changed their single rider queue policy a lot as well. I
See,
remember
back in the old days in Nemesis, single rider was a nightmare. Like newbies could not hack single rider queue. When you put them on the single rider queue, they'd have a meltdown. But like us returners would fly and fill the train. But yeah,
oh yeah, you
none
got to
of
fill
that
it
now.
quick. But then I'd go there another week, and that cage would be shifted in front of it, the storage cage.
Yeah, so
So you
sometimes you
can-
didn't have the staff for it. Like on quiet days, you just pod it across. Like it's like there's no point to this kind of thing.
Oh, how many hours of training was involved?
So how many hours? So if I remember rightly, for a host, it was 16 hours to train on something like Nemesis. Ripsaw was like, I think Ripsaw was 8 hours. I think.
What
I
are
might
you
be wrong.
learning just for a host? Are you learning to
As an
interact
operator?
and
Operate. Yeah. So obviously you need to know the COSWAP for Nemesis. Obviously you get quizzed on that. Weirdly, for some reason, I still know the 2 ride descriptions of Ripsaw and Nemesis from the COSWAP, which is quite sad, and I don't know why. I don't remember think much about the COSWAPs bar them 2 ride descriptions, which is kind of bizarre. I just don't know why.
So what other rides did you work on any other rides apart from
Yeah, so
those
obviously I did.
ever do air or anything like that? Was
Yeah,
it-
I did air when it was air. So yeah, I had air when it was
and
air.
it was better.
Yeah, it was better. There used to be days where you used to have like a Nemesis verse. I think towards the end of me having air, there used to be days where you'd have a Nemesis station and an air station, and we'd always just kick ass because obviously we used to getting trains out faster. Obviously, if you had good returners or like proper air returners and things, you'd be the shuttles would be going, like the crafts would be going out all the time. You'd be literally like time wait for station 2 kind of thing. You're like, just hurry up.
Did you get those
But,
stats?
yeah. What's that?
Do those stats get recorded of how many you're dispatching and stuff?
Yeah, so operators used to record it, and I believe the computer on used to record it as well, how many crafts went out per hour and things like that.
Were management
also-
always were they trying to get a certain number, or were you trying to compete? Or
We used to do unofficial competitions like Nemesis and Oblivion used to do them. We used to get quite close with Oblivion, but it's hard because obviously a lot more shuttles on there, so it's a little bit, and they're
a lot
obviously
less people per shuttle as well?
well, it's 60. Was it 16 per shuttle?
I think it's 16. Yeah, 2 rows of 8.
Yeah. So you could get them out quickly. I think their throughput was like 1900 an hour or something ridiculous. So it's kind of weird, but like for me, obviously, I did Oblivion. So obviously, after the Smiler incident, obviously, I got invited to train on Oblivion and that to help them out. So that was quite an experience. So I'm one of the few people within Alton Towers who actually had the opportunity to host on all 3 of the B&M rides in the park.
Did you ever train on Smiler?
No, I did service positions, like so, like your entrance, your baggage, your merge points, but never like.
Oh, so
actual-
you got kitted up in the.
No, God, no. I couldn't
No?
wear that uniform.
How'd you get
Oh,
away
God,
with
no.
that?
I'd rather shoot myself. But I did obviously do Mine Train, which was fun. I used to love my days on Mine Train. Oh, it was a good day.
Do you know who came up with that choo choo originally? Because it seems like Alton Towers made a lot of money out of it.
It was
but I
that
feel
lady,
sorry.
the Choo Choo lady. I forgot what her bloody name was. She was really. She left Alton Towers because she got really ill. I forgot what her name was. She was
I
the
feel really
original
bad.
Choo Choo lady.
She could have
Well-
got loads of money for that.
Well, yeah, there was obviously everything, the hashtag choo choo. Like, oh, God. And then when the guests doing it, like, after like 8-9 hours on the ride, you're like, oh my God, kill me.
Did the
It's like,
Smiler accident change how much training you had to have on the other rides, or was it just didn't?
no,
wasn't applicable?
not really, because the training was quite intense, really. Obviously, it was down for your trainer to say you're happy, obviously. And most of the trainers were obviously picked by the managers anyway. So most returners back then were pretty long-serving returners. Like, I think in my second season at Towers, obviously, I moved predominantly to Nemesis and Ripsaw, and I think at one point I was training people like 5 days a week to get Nemesis hosts because we just didn't have the trainers. So at one stage, I think I won an award for Team East, like ride trainer of the year or something, because I trained like the most hosts in the whole team. I think I trained like 30 to 50 people kind of thing. It was just like crazy.
What did you win?
Just some plastic dodgy trophy, I think.
You still got it?
Yeah, I think I do actually. I don't know where though. Probably in a bin somewhere.
So I remember one year you were telling me you were working at the time, but we were talking to you, and you said it was strange because you'd worked at Sainsbury's during Christmas, and you made more money at Towers during Scarefest than you did at Christmas at Sainsbury's.
Yeah, so obviously I remember when back in the proper days of Scarefest, when they run them had like, what was it, like 29th or something ridiculous when they used to do full on. Yeah, so obviously quite a lot of times you'd work all 60 nights of like Scarefest in a row, like 9 till 9s, and you're like, ugh. So it's quite a lot, really. But the breaks are obviously quite good. So obviously you used to get your like 3.5 hours or whatever, 4.5 hours, whatever it was. But certain rides obviously different depending on how many like hosts you had on the ride. So
is that like once every 3 hours or
something like that? So if you went to something like Mine Train, you were on there with 4 people. It's a 4-break rotor, so you literally just keep rolling the brakes and rolling the brakes. So you end up with quite a good cushy little number of breaks. But to be fair, I don't mind if I'm having a good day. Actually, breaks are kind of like, I don't really care. Like there's days at Drayton where I'm like, the day flies by and I'm like, oh, actually, I haven't had a break because it's been so good day.
I can't remember who said it. Someone said, you find a job you love, you'd never work a day in your life, sort of thing. And I can kind of relate to that.
No, to be fair, you obviously, I think in every job you have, you're always going to have good days and bad days. And I think it depends on like the vibe of the guest as well. So if you're having a good day and the guests are having a good day, it's really a good day. But then some days, if one person annoys you or does something that really winds you up and triggers you a little bit, and then that's your day gone. So if a guest screams and shouts at you, your mood just go boom, straight down to nothing. But if all the guests are in a good mood, or have a laugh, a joke with you, interacting with you, because I'm really bad for like getting everyone to sing happy birthday to a host or something, like another attendant or something. It's not their birthday, but you know, be all right. I think I've had it in like the summer, like schools week, like Hell's Week at Drayton on like air race and things, where I've had the whole queue line singing the whole ride, singing happy birthday to this attendant, and obviously all they want is the ground to swallow them up. But it's a bit of fun and laugh, you know.
Ask for a transfer to a different ride at that point.
Like you say, it's all good about interaction, guest experience, and have a little bit of a laugh and joke and that. And guests do enjoy that experience, I think. There's no point of being robotic. Obviously, I get newer people robotic because obviously they're scared. You know, it's a lot of thing to do.
Well, I don't know if I'd like to think I'd have the personality for it, but even if I did something like that, I wouldn't be sure what I'd be allowed to get away with to start with.
Yeah, I think the same for me. Obviously, my first year in the theme parks, obviously, you're like, I'm scared, don't know what I'm doing. But now I'm literally like, yeah, I know what to say. Like, I don't even think about stuff, and I just say it now, and I'm just like, oh, how do I remember that? Like, remember these procedures and things. Like, you trained on all these rides, you're like, they just boom, it just comes to you, and you're like, what? How do I remember that?
So when was your last year at Towers?
2017. So I finished on there on the Friday with technical services.
Was that in the off-season?
Yeah, so I did winter for like 3 years on Nemesis over winter, working with maintenance. What does that include? That's basically being a dog's body really and cleaning. But to be fair, the people I work with in Nemesis Garage were great, like Fizzer. Like some of the engineers were really cracking. Like they've got some great bants. And I work with Goody as well, who's been there about 50,000 years. So it was all right. So yeah, I had a good banter. My last day at Alton Towers was helping to do the testing with LTC, ready to obviously re-sign it back off for the season. So I ended up the whole day operating it. Really.
What's the temperature they can run that at? Is there a minimum temperature that they can test that?
You know what? I don't know. I think they're more or less scared of that one. I know Air used to have one, but I think with Nemesis, it's kind of like if there's no ice on the track, it's going round. It's probably more likely to make it round, you know. I can't remember if there was a temperature for it, because normally obviously the train sits in the garage at night, so and obviously there's heaters in there, so you can warm the wheels up on there. So both coasters, you've got like effectively heaters on the wheels, so it's not so bad.
So you finished it on the Friday?
I started Drayton Manor induction on the Saturday and Sunday. that's one way to get into.
Did you already know you weren't going back, or was that your choice?
So obviously I had a letter saying, unfortunately, on this time we're not having you back. Even though I got 2 contract extensions with technical services, but okay, that's neither there or there. Basically, some manager clearly didn't like my opinionated comments. But hey ho, that's the past. You know, it is what it is. So obviously, I applied for jobs in the meantime while my contract was being extended, and obviously, I applied for Europa Park program, didn't I? The European program.
Oh, that would have been cool.
So I had the interview and obviously got offered that job, but then I applied for the Drayton as well at the same time, and obviously went to the assessment, got offered the job at Drayton. And obviously my mindset was, yeah, it'd be great to go and work at Europa Park, but Drayton Manor is a stable job in the UK. I don't have to find a new house kind of thing.
If you'd gone to Europa Park, did you have to speak German?
Yeah, I think you did to some extent. Obviously you learnt German, but I think a lot of the people on the European program are like, no, I'm just going to speak English. Be all right. So I think...
What was your first ride at Drayton Manor?
My first ride?
Yeah, your first ride you went to.
It was Splash Canyon, the Rapids ride.
And was that were you still a ride host at that point, or did you get into operator?
So yeah, when I started, obviously I did get operator on it. I trained as an attendant and then an operator on there, and then I lived on there for like 6 or 7 weeks. And then obviously after whatever happened, obviously I moved on, got trained on everything else in my area. So I did. I operated G-Force. I operated Air Race.
G-Force before it went. Did you ever have the Teslas on?
No, I think they got.
I can't remember a time when they actually worked. Everyone used to tell me.
I don't think they're even there. They were even there when I started.
But
so yeah,
they're just a Windows Media Player screen at the back.
Oh god, I can't remember that. It's weird how you just don't remember.
It's weird how big a like square building it was, and there wasn't really anything filling it. Like, oh, they could have made the.
I remember the old days when we used to play radio music in there, wasn't it? Like one of the free radio or something used to play in there. I remember that. Used to have the banging tunes. Have a little rave in there.
I'm not sure at this point. We'll speak to David in a bit, but I'm not sure what you're allowed to talk about. So I'm kind of going to broadly say, what did you do after that? Because I know that you've moved up, but I don't want to ask you things you're not allowed to talk about.
So obviously, when that happened, obviously I just trained another ride. So obviously got Air Race, got Shockwave, did Shockwave, got Shockwave attendant, Air Race, did G-Force attendant and G-Force up, and that was it really. Yeah, so obviously I was on that quite a lot towards the end of that season. And then, obviously, in 2018, they reopened Stormforce 10, so obviously got invited to work on that as an attendant. Then I was against operating at first, because obviously back on the old days, had no cameras, nothing, etc., etc. No, it's quite nerve-wracking ride. 5 years later, I had a different story. I'm like, oh, what was I worried about? Like, it's really easy. Like, it's second nature now to operate that ride. I've had it for 5 seasons. I'm not really kind of phased by it anymore. It's not daunting, if you know what I mean. It's daunting, but I'm confident. I'm an op trainer on there. You know, I'm pretty relaxed with the ride now.
So then, after you trained on that, when did you start moving up into sort of management?
Well, I can't remember. 2018, I think I got approached about doing park control. Obviously, most people understand what park control is in a sense. It's the point of contact for the park. You know, any breakdowns, anything like that. I did that, so obviously answering phones. I just did that as like covering days off and things like that, and obviously did a bit more as the time went on. Then last year I had the opportunity to deputise for like days off for our team leaders, obviously because of COVID. Everything, obviously, you'd imagine the impact on staffing levels of things. Like every park was suffering with people being off with COVID and things. So it's in that sense now. I just had the opportunity to deputise, cover ride areas. I covered Thomas. That's one of the areas in Thomasland. I covered my own rides, just for team leads, and then obviously that's a really good ride to
operate.
Stormforce 10. It's the only one I have left now. I've kind of, because I've been doing a lot of like control and deputizing, I have lost most of my rides. So I've really got one ride in Thomasland for Christmas, and that was James and the Red Balloon, and I have Stormforce 10, and that's if I get obviously a reassessment, providing I've passed it, of course. But I hope I know the ride by now. You know, if I don't, then got some serious questions.
Is most of your time spent training rather than?
Yeah, because obviously I am employed, and my contract does say I'm a senior ride operator. Obviously, yes, at the start of the season, for the first couple of months, 3 or 4 months, you are constantly training people. Not constantly. No, it's not like a chore. Like I do enjoy training people. It's nice to pass on your experience and go train what you expect from people in a sense. Like you want that experience. I know what people want in a sense. I know what people want to hear. 10 years of it, you kind of get an eye for detail in that sense. People want to enjoy themselves. They don't want you to be robotic. Be relaxed, be calm, have fun doing it, but in a safe way.
What was that like when you first went to Drayton and you'd been there a little while? Were there some things where you went, that's different to Alton Towers sort of thing?
To be fair, believe it or not, some of the procedures in place at Drayton Manor are actually quite different in a sense of they're actually quite a lot more strict than like Alton Towers, which is good. I like it, and it isn't a dig at anyone. I just like the way that Drayton do things, and I kind of wish that some of the stuff that Drayton do, Towers did in a sense. Like for a ride to reopen again, you need a manager and an engineer to sign the ride. That doesn't happen at Towers. So some of the procedures we'll have some of the best procedures in place, and I can't fault Drayton Manor for that. And they listen to your ideas, and that's the one big thing I do like. The managers all listen to what you've got to say, and they listen to your opinion. Your opinion is valid, and they've got plenty of time to sit down and go, how can we make things better for you? what can we do to improve the cost? Well, obviously, we'll look at it from their point of view. But if it's viable, they will take it on board and will make the changes. And they do sessions every year to make sure that we're all happy with the procedures and anything we can do better to improve it or make it better.
I'd like to say I've not been in a few years actually to Drayton Manor, but I'd like to say that kind of shows in the kind of feel you get at the park that they probably are a bit more.
Well,
careful.
look at there's less of a height, there's less of a turnover. Most people know their jobs. Yeah, there is a lot of like in Thomasland, like the age of people in Thomasland is a lot higher than you think. Like you're talking 60 plus people, like over the age of 60. Like quite a majority of Thomasland people are a lot of older generation. There is younger people as well, but actually there's people in there since Thomasland opened, like after retirement and things. But they just enjoy it because it's a nice job. Do a few hours and they can go again.
Stan getting
getting a bit irate, isn't he? Bloody hell,
it's getting a bit close to the
problem with Merlin, though, the money before improvements, etc. Being a family-owned park, really care. Well, you've got to remember, Drayton Manor isn't a family-run park anymore. It's a part of a bigger group now. But the difference is they can focus on things they want to invest in us. We are their flagship, as they see it. We are their biggest park. We are their biggest guest.
Pleasurewood Hills?
Yes, they do indeed.
Okay.
And Westminster
I wasn't sure if it was the
Safari
same. And what other park?
They own Westminster Safari Park.
Oh, they own that. That's quite nice.
Yeah, so obviously they have quite a lot of water parks and zoos and aquariums around other parks, so it's quite nice in the sense of that. So obviously, yeah, there's great things for our zoo to like do things as well because obviously they've got the other parks to help them and things and make things better. They obviously want to invest. Look at the stuff they've been doing over the last couple of years. They care.
Well, it's clean. That's for one. Even
I think,
before that,
to be fair,
clean.
regardless of that, you can't dig at the park. Like, it's hard sometimes, and thankfully, Lupina do have that investment capital to invest in the business, and it's good for the future of Drayton Manor. It shows there is a future for it, and it can get better. And I think the enthusiasts are even realised because a lot of people giving it slate. Like, granted, I trend not to read it, but you do notice it. Now people don't seem to slate it very much.
So David's been sitting there in the casual lounge position.
I have, yeah.
But,
I thought he was asleep.
No, I'm not asleep.
We want to hear about your day on Sunday with Nick Hudson and the crew.
Yeah,
How
it was a
many
good
were
day. Quite a few of us in the end. 12, 13. I don't know, to be honest. There was quite a few.
So what was it?
No,
what was it
no,
like?
it wasn't my
Paulton's?
first rides of the year. I'd been to
You were in
Blackpool, Pleasure Beach. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't go. That's like the well, I said it last week. It's like the generic start of the season for most enthusiasts to go there. Like the fireworks at Towers is the end.
Yeah, very true. Yeah.
What's
No.
the
It was
first
a good
ride you
day.
went on at Paulton's then?
We went on Storm Chaser first.
Good ride that
So I
is.
suppose we
that.
started with the best, if I'm honest.
What's the vibe like in Tornado Springs?
It's really nice, to be honest. I mean, the theming and the amount of effort they spend on the theming of it. It's a nice atmosphere there. It looks nice.
Did you go on that flat ride? That one that spins you around.
Yeah, cycling.
Oh
ain't it?
God! Oh my God! That packs a punch. I was not expecting that.
No, I mean, I had a
Horrible.
cooked breakfast a few hours before, admittedly, but
Did you see that
probably
again?
not the best thing to have.
It
but,
packs a punch, doesn't it, for a small ride? That's for sure.
Yeah, it was. I know it was the second ride of the day, and I'd been on it last year, but I could tell I'd been on it afterwards, and it is intense. You compare it to something like Loki. I know it's a different manufacturer, but Loki, I think, is a lot bigger.
I think it's a Zambella ride, isn't it? That tornado.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, but I think because it's got a smaller circumference, that it tends to go round more, and perhaps that's why it feels a bit more nauseous.
A bit more G's.
Yeah, Loki definitely doesn't.
G's. For the G's.
The OG. So where were the rides open then? When did this season start for Paulton's?
Well, yeah, I think it started around half term. Yes, all the rides was open apart from the log flume and the
It's probably
disco,
quite cold.
and obviously
That log flume's
Farmyard.
quite good fun though.
Yeah, Farmyard Flyer wasn't open. That opens in April, and Edge, the disco ride, wasn't open, but everything else was open.
Ah, I like that disco ride because one time I went with James, theme park James, and there was only the two of us. It was a very quiet day. We went, and the ride up said, I don't know if this is true or he was trying to wind us up. He seemed like he wasn't laughing. He said, you're going to have to sit on opposite sides. And we kind of laughed and sat together, and he went, no, you're going to have to sit. And we sat, two of us, on this disco ride. At either end, no one else is on it. I'm just like,
that sounds
what
right.
the hell's going on?
That's quite a common thing with attractions, to balance it out, to obviously ease the weight. We do it quite a lot at Drayton as well. Rides do have to be balanced, contrary to popular belief. So you do have to. It's awkward, but at the same time, you explain why, and everyone's like, oh, okay.
Just seems a bit weird with only two of us on it.
Yeah, it's just to balance out. I don't know why, but that's what the manufacturers state.
So what were the operating hours like there on Sunday?
There was the park opened at 10. The rides opened at 10:30, and it shut at 5.
That's quite a long day, then, because I assume it was probably quite cold.
Wasn't too bad because it was sunny, to be honest. But it compared to Blackpool, a month ago, it was quite pleasant, to be fair, for the time of year. But yeah, the opening hours are pretty good, to be fair. And it wasn't that busy. So the most we were secured was about 10 minutes. So yeah.
So what's your favourite ride in general?
I would say Storm Chaser.
Yeah.
Although I quite like Cobra. For a Gerstlauer, it's so smooth. But there's no theming in that area, and you can look at
No, it's a bit bland.
the rest of the park. There's a lot more atmosphere, and you can think
Car park the ride.
That sort of corner.
I've heard that so many times in the past.
Do with the theming.
So what's the next stop on your? Because you kind of live in like an area, I'd say. I don't want to say exactly where you live, but you kind of live in an area that's not great. You're kind of far away from most stuff.
Yeah.
Southwest.
It's exactly. The connections are not the best, to be honest. Takes a while to get to places, to say the least.
Have you been to the? I don't want to say where you live in case you don't want me to say it, but have you been to the zoo in your hometown?
Yes. Yeah, of course.
Because I was thinking of going there before COVID, because there's a little fact. It's the only zoo in the UK apparently that has an echidna. Have you seen it?
No, I've been to the zoo a couple of times, but no, I don't think I have.
Because I messaged them beforehand and they said we can't guarantee it'll be awake during the daytime, so you might not even see it. And I thought it's not worth going all that way.
No.
So what was the next? Sorry, I interrupted there. What's the next stop on your tour?
I'm going to Thorpe Park next.
That's not opening for like 2 weeks, is it?
That's next week, opening weekend.
Oh, it's
that's the same weekend as Drayton, then, isn't it? 26th, is it? 25th?
It is, yeah, 26th.
Yeah.
Because I think Legoland and Chesterton have opened either.
Chessington.
One of them opened today and one of them is opening tomorrow, isn't it?
Yeah, Chessington's open today. I believe Legoland's opening tomorrow.
And then we're less than 48 hours from Alton Towers opening, and it feels like everyone's going to that.
Yeah.
Everyone I talk to is like, yeah, I'm going.
I'm working.
Yeah, I was considering it, to be honest, but in the end, I've chosen to go to Thorpe. So.
Oh, there we go. Legoland is tomorrow. It's tomorrow's.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Good English, Tomos. All right, down with the chavs.
But yeah, everyone seems like they're going to Alton Towers, but I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be quite busy because it seems like the first kind of normal year since COVID, and I think everyone's kind of getting excited about that.
Wow, the way numbers are picking up again, who knows?
I don't know. It seems like they're too concerned.
But saying that though, generally the first day of like opening weekend at Towers is always a interesting show because nothing seems to work.
No.
And they probably have a lot of new staff that kind of are still
bit mongoly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't deal with all these enthusiasts.
From
I find
my
it's
experience,
quite similar at Thorpe, though. To be honest, opening weekend. And
that depends what you expect from Thorpe.
Yeah, I mean Blackpool.
I prefer Thorpe nowadays.
Yeah.
Oh, there's lots down today at Chessington.
Yeah, there we go. Told you.
Yeah, Blackpool were pretty good on opening weekend this year, to be fair. Most things were open that was planned to be open. I mean, there were some things that they...
Just close all your maze rides.
So did do you stay close by overnight for Blackpool?
I do, yeah.
And did you go to Spoons?
Of course, yeah. Surprisingly.
Yeah, that's what we want to hear.
It's not a trip to Blackpool without the Velvet Coaster, is it really?
Especially
No,
after the song
no.
in Theme Park Fan the Musical. That was a great song.
Yeah. Yeah, it was in
Did
the
you want to,
Spoons magazine and everything.
Did you want to try this week's quiz?
Yeah, go on.
Oh God.
Did you want to do it as a team? Or did
Go
you
on
want to
then.
do it individually?
Just ask me the questions.
Yeah, just ask. Yeah.
You doing it individually or as a team? In fact, you're
Oh,
going to
well-
get most of these questions right, I think. I'll put some
Probably
Drayton
not.
ones in there.
You know what? I don't know. I don't know as much as you think.
Okay, question 1. What year was Shockwave introduced to Drayton Manor?
94.
Yeah.
Mm.
Which
Same year
chart?
as everything else.
Yeah, the same year as Big One and same year as Nemesis.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was
right.
the year, 94. We need to go back to the 94. They still had Thunder Leaper then. Never got to go on it, but they still had Thunder Leaper then.
God, let's go back a
Alton
bit.
Towers. Which chart-topping band attended the opening of Stormforce?
Oh, you know what? I don't actually know. I only know Air Races.
What was it for Air Race?
The Vamps.
I remember G4 did G-Force, didn't they?
Yeah, I think you're right
Yes.
there. Actually,
I remember the photo
Oh,
of
what's
them on
on a
it.
band? See, I didn't even know that. Oh, I'm quite intrigued by that. I didn't actually know that. Because that's quite the 90s, isn't it? When that ride opened. So, well, late 90s.
What, Stormforce?
Yeah.
Does anyone? Do you know what it is, David?
No, I don't know.
Steps.
Oh,
Steps.
okay.
Oh, okay. Well, they sing it 5,
yeah.
6, 7, 8. Tragedy.
Where is this one's quite easy. Where is Black Gang Chine located? Jersey, Guernsey, or the Isle of Wight?
What was that?
Where is Black Gang Chine located? Guernsey, Jersey, or the Isle of Wight?
Is it the Isle of Wight?
Because I obviously know this.
It's the Isle of Wight, yeah. You've not been to
Yeah.
Black Gang Chine?
No.
It's like the only park they've got on the islands. Which Thorpe Park dark ride closed after a fire in 2000?
Well, preferably all of them, but you know.
David's thinking about it.
I'm thinking about it, but whether I've
Was it
I know
X? I don't really know. Was it Pirates? I feel like it's X.
No. Wicked Witch's Haunt.
Oh, I never went on. I don't remember
I
it
think
really.
it was called Phantom Fantasia before that. It had like an
Mm.
overhaul.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that one then.
Whose shop do you exit through after riding the Gangster Granny ride at Alton Towers?
You know what? I've never been on it yet.
Oh, you've
Oh.
not been on it? It's the best ride in the park.
I've not been to Alton Towers. I didn't go to Alton Towers once last year.
I've been on it, but I can't think what the shop is.
Oh, you're going to get less score than Dimitri, which wasn't a bad score, but last week they got like 9 out of 10. It was at Raj's store.
Mm.
In my defence, I haven't been to Alton Towers, so, you know,
Were you going to go this year?
potentially. Who knows? I've got Florida first coming up, so
When's that?
I go next month to Florida.
That'll be all right. How long are you going for? 2 weeks?
15 days, 14 nights.
Oh, so they're quite good with the holiday at Drayton Manor then.
I'm still entitled to holiday. Obviously, I'm still entitled to holiday by law.
Yeah.
What's the name of the bear mascot for Pleasurewood Hills?
Oh, God, I went there as a kid. I remember knocking
know.
over Blobby at Pleasurewood.
No of it, but I can't think
You
of the
remember
name.
what was that about, Pleasurewood?
They used to have Blobby there, didn't they?
Oh,
I
yeah,
didn't
Noel
get Russia.
Edmonds.
I knocked Blobby over.
You
Well,
knocked him over. Did his head come off?
No, thankfully not.
David, did you know the name of the bear at Pleasurewood
No,
Hills?
I know of it, but no, I don't know the name. No.
Woody.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not saying anything.
Which,
I'm gonna
which seasonal scare park is located in the Twin Lakes theme park?
Scream, whatever everybody call it.
Yeah, he's got it. He's got it. What was the project name for Saw the Ride before the name was announced? It's written on the side of the shop.
I literally don't pay attention enough to the project names.
He's just like,
Facts, I don't.
Oh,
In fact, I don't even care. Oh, is that controversial? I could not care less.
Project Dylan, Dylan. I don't
Who
know.
came up with a
yeah.
stupid name like that?
It's
God,
actually
what,
it's actually written on the side of the shop, the container
Mm.
shop they got outside.
what the dumbest name thing ever? Like, at least Secret Weapon makes sense. Oh God, like an island, like no other. Yeah.
Oh, Dan's going to Poland in October, hopefully. Are you going with him, David?
That's the plan, hopefully. Yeah.
You're banned, sorry.
Which of these attractions, this is the last question, which of these attractions is outside of the M25 Ring Road? Chessington World of Adventures, Thorpe Park, Legoland Windsor.
Legoland Windsor.
Yeah,
Oh, he's got it.
Legoland Windsor, eh? It's a great one
Oh
because
no,
it
that
always
wasn't
sends you.
sorry, I missed out a question. That wasn't the last question. I missed that number 9.
Yeah, Lego one that obviously everyone does. We always do that on the way back because you always get rerouted if you come from Thorpe Park on the way home back this way. It sends you via Windsor.
I love Legoland. I think.
You know what? I've had really good visits this year, last year to there. I went twice, and I really enjoyed my days there.
It's just it's discussion for another time. But there's 3 theme parks I'm thinking of discussing that are the closest thing we've got to a Disneyland in this country, and I think for theming, Legoland comes close to that.
God, how bad is that?
It's pretty good for theming.
Because it's got its own. Although Lego uses other IPs on top of itself, it's got its own kind of characters and things, isn't it? Whereas Alton Towers,
I suppose Paulton Park's like that as well, though. Really, with its theming.
It is good for theming. Paulton's right, yeah. Theming
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not saying Alton Towers is good or bad, but it's kind of like someone. It's almost like someone took loads of different areas from different worlds, which maybe that's the idea.
Together.
Yeah, they don't kind of merge into each other, and there's not really any kind of
direction to it, I guess.
I
suppose you
they
can't
kind of refer
like
to something else in another area. So I mean,
I suppose you can't because of the size of it and the historical value to it. It's a bit harder, and the restrictions will probably make it a bit difficult as well.
I do like the fact you can't see other areas of the park.
Natural environment at Towers as well, haven't you? And I think
you can't really argue that. There's a lot of sitting down on the grass. A lot of parks lack that in the summer. At least you can't argue at Towers.
I missed out a question there. Peking Heights used to stand at Chessington. Prior to this, it was at Thorpe Park, but under what name? That was the Ferris wheel at Chessington. It was called Peking Heights. But in 2003 and 2004, it was at Thorpe Park. But what was the name of it? I'll just try and tally up how many you've got right.
Not many.
The problem is, though, like I go on these rides, but I don't pay attention enough to the ride name. I remember going on it, but I don't care enough to remember the name. I'm not really enthusiastic.
Did you want to know the answer?
Not really.
Yeah,
no.
go on.
Eclipse.
Okay.
Oh, apparently Dan knows it, but I've already said the answer now.
Dan, we're not asking you, are we? Just pipe down a bit.
4 out of 10, which isn't bad.
No, it's shocking.
I thought you'd know them all. I thought you'd be really have your enthusiast heads on,
I'm not an why does everyone assume I'm enthusiastic? I like going to theme parks. I couldn't care less about anything else, really.
Were you not an enthusiast before you worked at Towers?
No, I was not. I like visiting theme parks. That's as far as go. I like looking at the operations at a theme park, but I couldn't care less about how long a ride takes to go round. Oh no, it's like running slow today. No one cares. Oh, there's a new ride. So what? I'll go on it when it opens.
Everyone normally disagrees with me on this.
Saying that, though, I am slightly excited and very excited about Iron Guars. Oh yes.
Oh yeah. But I was going to say, I don't know if you agree, but I've never liked enthusiasts mainly use it. The phrase "on park."
I used to have this conversation. People, obviously, when you work at a theme park, you do say.
Yeah, I can understand. They've heard staff say it, and that's why they say it. And it just, I don't know. There's something about it which.
Or it's better on the park rather than on the resort because it's in the park bounds. I guess that's the way we look at it. On resort,
it's not on the park though. It's on park.
On park.
Yeah,
on the park.
It's literally this. People say on park, don't they? Not on the
park. On park.
Yeah.
I don't go to the extent of. I know some people that go, yeah, it looks like there's about 8,000 people on park today, and I'm like, you don't work here. That's not really interesting. Why are you telling me that?
Well, they do tell you that in briefs in the mornings at
Yeah, but I'm talking about an enthusiast telling me that, not someone who works there.
I normally just say, "Oh, it looks busy today." That's it. Or, "Oh God, it's going to be a croc."
That's a standard thing to say.
It look like a croc.
Dan's going for dinner. See you, Dan. So we talked
What you
about.
To know, that's the question.
I don't think he's still here. Oh, Ont Park. Yeah, if you're northern, it'll be Ont Park.
On to park.
You put tit co-ops under tit patio. But basically, I thought we could talk more about Paulton's and then talk more about Drayton. But I don't know how much more we can talk about Drayton. That's why I was kind of avoiding.
Yeah, that's fine.
But I thought we'd talk more about Paulton's with David, and I'll move him to the top. So do you want to tell us more about your day at Paulton's Park?
Yeah, it was a good day.
Did you plan on meeting the people there?
Well, it started with me and a mate that's local to me arranging with about 3 other people, and then it just built up into a larger group. So over time.
Oh, so you didn't plan to meet them there ahead of time?
Originally not, but it was some of the others had arranged it. So in the end, it became a large group. It was pre-arranged, but we didn't just randomly meet, which I have randomly met people in parks on a number of occasions. To be honest,
He's saying it.
They're people you already knew, though, right?
Yeah, mostly, yeah.
Just like a tag.
Yeah.
Do they have more actual merch at Paulton's now? Because last time I visited Paulton's, the merch was quite generic.
No, I looked in the shop and there's a bit on.
I always found that quite surprising.
Storm Chaser and that, but there's a lot of, if you want toys and kids stuff, yeah, there's plenty of that.
I feel like theme parks seem to be obsessed with toys these days, like teddy bears and stuff. I'm sorry, guys, I do not want a bloody toy. Some stupid teddy bear.
People are buying them. That's the problem.
Yeah. There was a shop full of toys, basically. There was some merch, but not a lot.
Stationery. Tell me it had stationery, David.
Oh yeah, I had pens, note.
You can't beat a good pen though, can you? Let's be honest.
Depends what it does.
Well, hopefully writes something, you know.
I remember I once got a key ring from Alton Towers, but it broke after like a few weeks. And you had at the time the 6 coasters, and you could spin it, and it'd choose.
Oh yeah, I remember how tacky that was. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, that just fell apart. But also, it'd be annoying if you've just got a Nemesis and it's like, let's go on Oblivion. Well, let's not walk that
I think
far.
I still have the pin badge from Nemesis 21, actually. The original one, the staff lanyard one.
Did you go to the party? Was it for 21 they had the party?
No, I don't think I'm still there. 25, wasn't it? No, I know I for Nemesis 21 I stayed late at night to run the ride for the stupid enthusiasts who wanted to go on it.
Oh, because they had I'm sure it was for 21. They had the birthday party with the cake and things, and I haven't got the photos on me now.
I don't know. Just get told to stay in it. You just do what you're told.
Because there was a slight bit of nepotism about it.
Yeah, see, Stacey made a good point
invited.
here. It's more family merch nowadays. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But I don't think you can almost aim anywhere else than families, can you?
I feel like there's not enough souvenirs in some parks nowadays. Like some people do like a little fridge magnet to put on for their parents. You know, when you've been out, the kids have been to school for this trip, and there's nothing for like the kids to take home to go, oh, I've been on Towers today.
I thought that was more for like school
stupid
trips.
overpriced on-ride photo that's really crappy quality.
What's the quality of the Drayton ones like?
It's you know what? I don't actually know. It's done by Pomvom.
Is that something Lupin owned?
No, that's the new name for bloody Pixel, isn't it? Pomvom.
Oh, I've just changed the name.
Pomvom, yeah, Pomvom. Sounds like someone's vomiting it up.
But you go on about they've got these.
Says me, who's definitely gonna get loads of on-ride pictures when I go to Disney and Universal, but here, there or never. I'm a hypocrite like that.
About the poor merch, but then you go to the other end of the spectrum and we're buying pieces of wood. Well, I'm not buying them, but we're buying pieces of wood from Wicker Man. And there's no way to prove that's actual used wood from Wicker Man. That's what I was surprised by.
No, that's it. But it makes
to be fair, though,
money,
some parks, like at least Blackpool, you can tell their stuff are actually from the rides because you can look at it and it goes.
Yeah.
I think Drayton was
wheels.
selling a one of the cable car gondolas during the season last year.
What, from the cable car gondola?
The actual gondola, the little car thing from the actual cable cars.
How'd you take that home? You need a flatbed for that.
Well, I'm guessing they did come popped up with their trailer. I don't
Was
really
that
know.
them advertising it online, or did someone just go, I fancy that, can I have one?
No, I think they were selling it in one of the shops with a load of different little parts and things.
Yeah.
There aren't enough penny mangles now. Stacey's going about penny mangles, but I don't think there's enough parks that still have them.
Penny mangles, God.
We've got loads of them. Legoland have about 20 odd. Each of their machines has different designs on it.
Disney's like that though. If you think about it, Disney's quite like that.
Oh yeah, but Disney's kind of the brand, isn't it? I suppose Lego is as well.
Yeah, what is Lego if it's not a brand?
But that's what I mean about how it's like Disney though, because Alton Towers haven't. Well, they've got a brand, but the closest they come to making their own characters and making it seem like there's a world there is at Scarefest when they have those characters come out.
Yeah, I think I've read something somewhere today that Manor are bringing up some another park with Jumanji or something. I took a screenshot of it earlier.
Yeah, I briefly saw that myself.
I'm just finding
I've
it.
not read the full details.
But they seem to like.
Here we go. I've got it here.
Okay.
We have today announced a formal multi-territorial exclusivity agreement with Sony Pictures Entertainment to develop and operate attractions, rides, lands, retail outlets, and themed hotel rooms based on the studio's the studio box office hit Jumanji film franchise. The Manor Resort theme parks and water parks in Europe, including the UK and North America.
How have they worded that? Because you seem like you were translating it into proper English, how you were struggling to read it then.
It's because it's so far away how I'm holding it, because obviously my mic, I can't get it close because the mic's in the bloody way. What else you got here? The first Jumanji experience to be launched as part of the agreement will be the world's first Jumanji ride, which will open in April this year at Gardaland Resort in Italy. Attraction will be called Jumanji: The Adventure, and will transport guests the fantastical world of Jumanji, where an exhilarating adventure awaits them. The journey of the four pitfalls. What? Surprises and danger throughout the wild jungle. Set to open in April, the new attraction will be a dark ride, shock horror. And it'd be lovers of all ages.
They could have left the rest out by just saying that.
The wider audience, families, teenagers, young adults will become... What?
That sounds like it's great.
Compelled in simulation launches or a fully themed Jumanji hotel.
It reminds me a bit of a more long-winded way of saying it's every ride you've ever been on in one, like they did with 13 that time. Do you remember?
Basically, it's just another crappy dark ride
With a launch.
Hopefully, maybe Merlin should get a partnership with Universal on how to design decent dark rides.
Well, yeah, they need more dark rides, I think.
To be fair, I'll take my comment back because look at Darren Brown. That was actually quite a nice little dark ride experience.
How's that age now? Because I've still not been on it yet. I've not been to Thorpe since the year before that opened.
Yeah, to be fair, it's actually not that bad. No, it's just got crap. It's just lacked actors now. It's just like a bare minimum boring ride now.
It's well themed, but the problem is it's so unreliable. That's the problem.
Yeah, and even the staff say it as well.
And
so what's you carry on.
The amount was spent on it could have perhaps been spent on something else, but it is well themed. It just doesn't work well enough for my liking. It's too unreliable.
Basically, have you noticed Merlin just got rid of VR because they've realised how naff it is?
But we always said that when they first got it on Galactica.
Yep.
Oh, that VR was even worse.
My favourite thing on that, and I don't know if it's available on YouTube if someone's managed to get it. The file must exist somewhere still, but the audio descriptive of that was amazing. I did it with audio descriptive on.
Oh, the amount of times, like especially with Darren Brown, the amount of times the headset don't work, I just sit there in pitch blackness. It's great. Just have a quick nap.
Yeah.
Or just taking the headset off.
It and all sorts.
You have to take it off in that train. Don't they frown up?
They don't like it, but I do it anyway. All they just do slapping your thighs, isn't they? Like boom, 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 boom. I remember when I went on there with like when Sam Jones worked at Thorpe and he was like smack him in the head instead. But I'm pretty sure that's not in the script.
You're gonna get him in trouble now.
I'll be alright.
What's talking about smacking the head? What souvenir would you guys prefer? What's your preference?
Not a smack in the head. I don't know. See, I think obviously it's hard, isn't it? I think it depends what it is. Like, don't get me wrong. When you go to like Disney or Universal, you do like to pick up the clothing and stuff. But I feel in the UK, the merch is too in your face, and I like to have subtleness in my merch. Like some sort of thing I can wear every day. I don't like walking around, prancing around all day long with a thing going, "Oblivion, don't look down." At all the towers resorts.
I don't like the ironed-on transfers on the hoodies. I would prefer it stitched.
Yeah, so you get that quality in America. They're actually stitched on.
Yeah.
But
They probably charge us a lot more for that.
Yeah, it's probably about $500 or something, you know.
I think,
What ride would you want back in operation?
Ripsaw!
So if they just got rid of those all over... Because they got rid of Ramses, didn't they? Not long after that.
Yeah.
But I just... what was it? The reliability? Or?
Just the cost of repair. The horse ride.
Oh, so yeah.
Cheap and cheerful.
Although, have you seen... Oh, no, you can talk, David.
I always thought Slammer was quite unique. Whether I'd want it.
Oh, yeah, I love Slammer.
Slammer was quite unique, I thought.
I liked it, but no.
I didn't like Submission.
Oh, God, no. Again, it's another ride I've been on a couple of times, more being forced on it, like, you know, when you get blackmailed into it. I'll buy you food afterwards. Okay.
Well, I'd rather have it after than before.
Yeah, well, it's true.
It used to be on that same site at one point, but the Energizer, or when it was in Ugland, the Bone Shaker, do you remember that? Or have you seen pictures of it?
And the Alton Mouse as well, that was all right.
I never went on that.
Maybe the Black Hole, actually. The Black Hole was all right.
Black Hole would... Well, they can't bring it back now, obviously. Smiler's there, but that was down to reliability as well, wasn't it? Or
A lot of the track was condemned, basically.
Well, no, because it got rebuilt. I went and rode it in Sweden.
Geek.
Outdoors. That wasn't the only reason for the trip. But...
Geek. I just hate geeks. Like
the Rocket.
Yeah.
Ripsaw
definitely.
Slammer was decent though, but it was more that there were only two of them in the world. But then that was probably the reason why there were only two.
I think it was the uniqueness of it, to be honest.
And Ripsaw, I just used to climb across the front of it, hanging on for dear life, hoping I wasn't going to fall off it, trying to push down on someone's harness, and then hoping it didn't reopen again on you and take you out.
Did that ever happen to anyone?
No, not it can do, yeah. Some people, but you know, it's just the way you stood in there. You knew if it came up, you weren't going to get taken out by it. I remember one day when the people were getting off, and someone was nearly sick down the back of my neck.
Jeez.
Yeah, thankfully I stepped back at the right time, and they were just all sick everywhere. I was like, fantastic.
Did they still go on the ride?
No, this was after they were coming off.
Oh, okay.
But we used to love it. Used to love it in the summer. Preload everyone, stand out the way, and let them get hit by the gondola and get a wave across. Oh, highlights.
Were there quite a lot of different cycles you could have on that?
Yeah, there was 9 automated programs ranging between 40 and 160 seconds. I think it was 140 seconds. We used to always run.
Was there any kind of manual ride on it or not?
You could, but it just went round and round and round. That was it.
Oh,
so
okay.
all we ever run was like 4 was the one where it flipped you loads. It used to flip, then lock into place and bring you into the fountains. We used to run 4, 7, and 8 quite a lot. Was
it just a whole cycle for the number, or could you kind of go 4 and then tell it to run? Were they mini cycles?
What we used to do, like a lot of the operators, if you were a good host who knew the ride, like I knew when they were swapping sequences, it'd be literally like 4 and 8, or it'd be like 4 and 7. And you just knew, you just heard it cut out. You could hear it cut out.
Oh, you could hear that over the... is that what you were saying over the speakers?
Yeah, so over the PA sometimes it'd be literally like, Dan, send it again. Or that you just literally like, whenever you're ready, Dan. Or it'd be like 4 and 8. And you just know where he's going to cut it out. There's a perfect point in the ride cycle where you can just cut it out and swap sequences to it. So if you worked in the ride as much as I did, you get so used to it. And you could be like, the geeks were like, oh, Dan, can we have this? And you ask the operator, and the operator's like, yes, there's something to actually do. Because all the operator did was like play with the fountains. That was it, really. You know, thanks for riding Reed. You've just been detoxed by Ripsaw. That's as far as it went. The host did all the work, because obviously we lowered the harnesses, we checked all the seats, we made sure it was all down.
Did you ride Ripsaw, David? What were your thoughts on that?
No, I didn't, to be honest. So
I used to avoid riding.
I have a lot of thoughts on it, to be honest. But
it was one of those rides that was also fun to watch. Like, if people didn't want to go on it, there was a show.
Used to have crowds like on the summer's day. You'd have your queue would be full.
You had the 2 layers as well, because you had the bit near the coffee place as well.
Yeah, the bridge going across, didn't you? But it used to be full. Oh my god! Like in the summer's day, you'd be busy from opening to close. It was a good day though on Ripsaw.
It looked good when it was lit up at night as well.
It's a bit boring at night so much because it was just boring. Like I liked it when it was a summer day. It was hot. Like you could see everything was going on. And I'd just be so casual with it. I could literally open the gate as it you just know the ride. You could even hear the clicks before you even said you just been DTX'd by Ripsaw. You knew, you heard the click, the gate was open.
Sure.
You just knew the ride when it clicked in, it was clear to go up. You'd literally be halfway up the thing where it was like, "Have you just been detoxed by a Ripsaw? Thank you very much for riding." You know, you knew the ride that well. You even knew when it tripped out as well, because you're like, "That's gone," and you'd be tapping on the button to hope they can bring it down, or it locks into place. And you're like, "Yep, well, I've got to wait for an engineer to come batter it back down."
How long would it stay up there if it got locked in place?
It would. You could put, if it was stuck upside down and kept swinging, just press the E stop, and it would just drop it, and it would just free swing then. And sometimes it'd stop in a good position where it just needed, like, it just stopped nicely the correct way up, and you just need to lower it down. I think at one point they trained the managers to do it in the end, because it was annoying. Keep bringing an engineer over to do it every time.
Oh, so you could still get it down.
Yeah, it had a battery pack in there. You just lowered it down. You just batteried down, got them off, did a test run, and then you could send it again.
I've seen the battery pack for it's not there anymore, I don't think. Canonan at Leesburg. I got evac off the brake run. It's a battery pack.
A lot of rides do that. They do that quite a lot in Port Ventura and Chambord. I remember getting evac, like battery packed off there at the end of the day because I couldn't be arsed sending the train out again.
Oh no, this was actually, it kind of broke down. It wasn't the end of the day.
Quite a lot of rides have battery packs. Like most theme parks rides have a battery pack for their rides, or a manual release bar to get the guest off on the harnesses. It's kind of like a safety precaution, isn't it? If there's no power.
Manual one, yeah. So did you want
to back up, I guess?
Was there anything else you wanted to mention before we've gone over the hour? No. Do you want to mention your social media tags at all?
I don't know what they are. I think it's like Dan_Mark77. I don't really know.
I'll put them in the description if you want at some point. The David Blythe want to tell us where we can find him?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter and Facebook. You could find me on Theme Park Escape, which is like a Facebook page that me and Dan post stuff to quite regularly.
And then next week, people have been telling me, some people said they want me to do more, talking about more of the southern parks. And I kind of aimed for the moon, and I reached the stars because I overshot London. And next week, I'll be speaking to someone live in Belgium. Joe Paul, a friend of mine from European Coaster Club.
Just showing off now, aren't you?
We're talking to him next week. And then that and beyond. Did you like the little, I don't know if you noticed the little St. Patrick's Day thing in the corner on the live stream logo there?
Yeah, I did.
See it now.
That took you a whole of 5 seconds to do.
Yeah, something like that. So enjoy. Were you at Drayton this weekend, or are you not starting back yet?
Been open all weekends, but yeah, I mean Saturday and Sunday.
Get 2 days.
We're open. We're open for March weekends at the moment until next weekend.
Is that a full ride lineup?
That's just Thomasland and selective family attractions outside.
Oh.
So basically,
do you reckon Lupin would ever do a mixed annual pass?
I think you can. Season pass holders can get 1 free entry, I believe, at the moment in the Westminster Safari Park and Pleasurewood Hills. Same for staff now as well. We're allowed in. We just have to show our staff pass and things. So yeah, I don't know if that will get developed ever or anything, or maybe that's something for the future.
That could compete with Merlin if they did something like that. Well, not, or to a certain degree.
I don't know. I think it's
because I like Pleasurewood Hills. I like West Midlands Safari Park.
Yeah, we have quite a lot of season pass holders popping after school, to be fair, at like 4 o'clock and go on the ride for a few hours. Because obviously we're
in a good location. You're near civilization, unlike Alton Towers.
Yeah, not like Alton Towers. Yeah, same with like Fort Park, isn't it? It's near civilization.
Yeah,
Fort Park's kind of a little bit out of the way.
I don't know if I'd call Chertsey that, but
or Staines.
I think we're going to leave it there then. But I appreciate you all coming on. It's been a laugh.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
May have you on it in the future, some point down the road.
When he's desperate and he's run out of people who's stupid enough to come on.
Oh, I've not run out yet. I've got quite a few people coming on.
Yeah.
I'm calling Belgium next week. I might do like a little Eurovision opening. London calling. Although I'm not from London.
Your point.
Do you want to say goodbye to the viewers?
Bye-bye, viewers. Bye-bye.
Bye, viewers.
Bye-bye.
Bye.